Hi, my name is Yakshini Budu, and today I will be talking about Mauritius Island. So, Mauritius Island is a small island right next to Madagascar. It has about 1.2 million of people that live on the island, and it is very tropical and humid there. So, where I want to go with this speech is just to tell you a little bit about what Mauritius is and kind of compare it to the US. Compare the tradition, the culture, the education, and the religion. So, first, we will go ahead and start with the cultural differences between Mauritius and the US. So, one thing that is very different is the way that we greet people back in Mauritius. So, there, when you say hi to someone, even though if you don't know them, you always have to kiss them on both cheeks. And it needs to make a noise as well. If not, it's considered as rude. For the most part, women kiss women or men. But nowadays we're trying to change it a little bit where if a man is greeting another man, he will shake his hand and then give him one kiss instead of just giving them two kisses. So this is a big difference between the culture in Mauritius and in the States. I think when I came here the first time, I was greeted by my roommate and she just came and gave me a big hug. For me, it was kind of weird because back home, we only hug each other if we are really close family members, like my mom, my sisters, or my grandparents. Or if someone just passed away, then you give them a hug to show them that you're sorry about their loss. So when someone came and hugged me here, it was very different. And secondly, I would like to talk about the traditional Mauritian food and the traditional American food. So if you don't know, Mauritius is a very, very diverse country. So we were settled by the Dutch, the British, and the French. So we have those traditions and cultures from those different countries. But we also had slaves from India, from Africa, and from China. So we have a little bit of that as well. An example, my family itself, my mom's side of the family is half Chinese and half African. And she was born on another island called Rodrigue. My dad's side, he is half Indian and he has some British as well. So, as you can see, we're very, very diverse. And when I say diverse in food, it's not traditional Indian food or traditional Chinese food. It's a mix of everything in one plate. That's why it makes it awesome. Why I want to compare it to American food because it is very different to me when I came here because I had to adapt to the food and the way it's made. For example, back home we use a lot of spices. No matter what you make, we always use a lot of spices. Here, it's very simple what I saw. And also, people in the States, they don't really make complicated dish. But back home, if my grandma or my mom is cooking, they always take up to 3 hours to make a dish just because they don't just want to eat rice and beans. They want to eat rice, beans, chicken, and 3 other type of vegetables that goes with it. And all of them needs to be cooked in a very complicated way, let's say that, which take them so long to make. And the last thing I would like to talk about is education. So the differences in education in Mauritius and the US. In Mauritius, the way it's divided, it's very different from here. So it's divided into 4 parts. And every 4 parts, after the last year of every sections of the education you're doing, you have to take a really big final exam, which is the national exam of the country. Every single one of those exams you have to take are very important because it's gonna tell you what school you're gonna go to. And that is very important as well because back in Mauritius, how schools work is if you're in the top 50, you're gonna go in the very best school where you're gonna get the very best education, the best teachers, best education system. The schools are newer, more updated. Everything is really good. And then if you are in the top or the least 50, you will go to the, let's say, the bad schools. They are bad because they don't have good teachers, or the teachers that are there, they don't really care much because they believe that you're not smart enough to be able to learn that much. So that's how education is there. Another thing is that Mauritians spend a lot of money in education, not just to pay for the exams, but another example is the uniform. Uniforms are mandatory. No matter what grades you're in, you have to wear a uniform. And every school have a very different type of uniform. Usually boys, they have to wear shorts on the knee or long pants with white or blue shirts with a school badge on it. For girls, we usually have to wear a skirt on the knee or a dress with white or blue shirts with the school badge on it. Some schools even require to wear black or white shoes and black or white socks. No makeup for girls. No, your hair can't be like dye red or blonde or yellow. It needs to be clean. And for boys, it's the same. They need to have a clean cut and no facial hair. And usually every year, every parents have to buy school uniforms for their kids. And the school has the right to send the kid back home if they don't think that the uniform is new enough, or if it has a little hole in the skirt or in the blouse, because they want everybody to be really clean and to wear new clothes and to look good. It can be a good thing, but I think it can be a bad thing as well because we do spend a lot of money on that. Another thing is how education work here in the States. I came here in 2012 after high school, so I can't really say that I know much about how high school works, but after talking to people, my friends from here, I've learned a little bit. And the first thing I've learned is that uniforms are not required unless if it is a private school. The second thing I've learned is that you don't have to spend that much money taking so many final exams. And just in general, I've learned that in the US, you don't spend that much money on education. So I would like to say that Mauritius, again, if you don't know where it is a very small island which is off the coast of Madagascar. Mauritius is well known for tourism. Every year they have about 1 million to more tourists that comes. That is the main economy of the country. It does has its a good side and it does have a bad side. I would say the bad side would be to put so much money in education, and that's something that the country definitely have to work on. The good side is that the tradition, the culture, and the authenticity that the country brings, that's what makes it a really good place to be and a place that everybody wants to be at.